bit of a lazier video today for Saturday, and I'm going to let you know what's coming up tomorrow, Sunday, too. We were so ambitious in taking on all 3 of those Hourglass palettes. It's almost like we all needed a little bit of a rest. So today we're gonna look at the new Victoria Beckham Beauty Concealer. It's called the Nourishing Veil Concealer Pen. We're going to look at that together. We're going to look at a new shade of Givenchy Prisme Libre Loose Powder Highlighter, a new shade that is very pretty. We're going to wear test it, and we are going to do some comparisons, which I'll explain in a moment. You're going to do all that today with me, Rebecca. I am an over 20-year veteran of the fashion and beauty journalism industry. I'm an editor and columnist, and I am not a makeup artist. I work with all the biggest names in the industry, but mostly just hearing what they have to say and writing about it. In terms of performance, I am just like everybody else when it comes to putting on makeup. I just know the players a little bit better, possibly. All right, so let's talk about it and our comparisons that we're going to do, because everyone has already asked me to talk about the Victoria Beckham Beauty Concealer in reference to the Westman Atelier, and we are definitely going to do that. I'm in the middle of a wear test right now. You're seeing it in the middle, but we'll also do some check-ins throughout the video, because how our concealer lasts is very important. I need concealer more than I need foundation, personally, so I do understand that. All right, so let's talk about what we got here. First thing I want to do is talk a little bit about the star of our show, which is the Victoria Beckham Beauty Nourishing Veil Concealer Pen. This is another kind of skincare makeup project that she has done in conjunction with Augustinus Bader, or Bader, who is the darling of Hollywood skincare. And Victoria Beckham Beauty really believes in he's a doctor and puts a lot of research and technology into things, and she really believes in it. She's done some priming moisturizers with him, which are gorgeous. The gold one is one of my favorites. And she's done a serum. I loved the serum. My problem with the serum was it plateaued evilly on me. For about 6 weeks, I couldn't go out anywhere without people going, "Your skin looks amazing." And then after 6 weeks, it just stopped. I've been meaning to kind of start again with it, because I'm wondering if you just do it once every 4 or 5 months for a few weeks, if it would be beneficial. I don't know, but it definitely plateaued. But this is something that she does. She does a lot of projects with him. This is supposed to be second skin coverage, improve the complexion in 4 weeks if you continue to use it, which would be Dr. Bader's kind of technology in there. It promises 8 hours wear. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Light to medium coverage, does not settle in pores, etc., etc. Comes in 16 shades and is a hefty $68. We are talking a luxury product here. And I don't know if you're anything like me, I run through concealer pretty quickly. Like, I wish I had a drugstore concealer that I really loved, because I do run through concealer. I need concealer more than I need foundation, so I do run through it. And $68, yikes. I got the shade L1. I'm wearing it now. I think I did a great job on the, finally, right, on the shade choice. Okay. We're going to talk about this and compare this with the Westman Atelier concealer, because they're kind of, basically in the same price range. And I'll let the demo do the talking on that. But I will tell you this, just as a preview. Tomorrow, I'm looking at the Makeup by Mario setting powder. And I always told you in my Westman Atelier review video, I told you this one really needs the powder and such. So we'll use that new Mario powder on this Westman Atelier concealer tomorrow, because I think it needs it. Just thought I would tell you that. Stick around for that tomorrow. Okay, the other product that we're going to review today, because it's just fun, is the brand new Givenchy Prisme Libre Loose Powder Highlighter. This is $47, and it is another in a continuous line of loose powder blushes and highlighters from Givenchy. I think this one's the 11. It's very pink. And this has the little puff in it. Well, first of all, it has that Rubik's Cube kind of intelligence test to put back on the cover that I can never seem to pass. It has that super cute puff with the little finger. This is the only product, their loose powder blush and highlighter and their Prisme Libre powder for your skin. This is the only one that I'll use the puff in. I just need to wash it a lot, because I hate a dirty sponge sitting in makeup. It's just a thing. And we have the 4 quadrants, but you don't separate them. They just kind of sift themselves onto the sponge or brush or whatever it is that you are using. A little bit of a fragrance for my migraine sufferers, but not much. And we forgive Givenchy because they are luxurious. They are also a perfume house and they are French. So they get the pass on 3 counts, if you ask me. I'm just saying. But it's a real pretty one. And I know people were very upset with Givenchy for reformulating their Prisme Libre loose powder, setting powder without talc. We have a lot of like, give me the talc back people out there. There might be something to be said for that, but the anti-talc people would be very upset that I said that. Let's, we're going to try this on too, though. And we're going to just give them both a wear test. The Victoria Beckham Beauty says it only goes 8 hours. And we're going to, I can easily do an 8-hour wear test. I will say this later in the video, I do admire that. You know, like say 8 hours and do it. Don't say this last 2 weeks, you know, because, you know. Anyway. Okay, here's some ingredients. So we have Givenchy ingredients over to the left if you need to see what's in the highlighter. And then the Victoria Beckham Beauty concealer ingredients are on the right. So go ahead and freeze that or enlarge it or whatever it is in case you need to scan for a specific ingredient and see if it's there. Okay, I am super anxious to get into the wear test. Don't forget to check on screen where appropriate, and I'll have some things up in YouTube shopping. The description bar will have links to everything so you can just check it out and peruse it on your own. A quick word about the Hourglass palettes. They're having some issues with making those codes and everything work, and apparently they are working through it, and I will alert probably by the time this video comes out it'll be fixed. But if you had trouble using my code, my discount code Rebecca at Hourglass, I do apologize. It has been very frustrating, and they are working to get it fixed probably by the time this video is out. It will be, but I will post that in community, or you can ask me below or give it a try over at Hourglass. I am terribly sorry. Apparently they're having a lot of trouble with that right now. Okay, make sure you are subscribed to this channel, and let's go put this on in the demo. Okay, let's see what we got with this Victoria Beckham Beauty Concealer, the Nourishing Veil. So as you probably know, I got shade L1, and I haven't tried it on my skin yet. What I have done, however, I will admit to you, is I kind of pumped up the pen so you didn't have to sit through that. Now this has a brush on the end, so theoretically I could use, I just find that spreads it more. And actually the Victoria Beckham Beauty website suggests that you just kind of dot it and then use your finger. You guys don't like hands on the face, so I did bring over a concealer brush from Rephr, the B01. So I'll use that instead. Boy, the debates on this channel, when I bring up the fact that you guys don't like hands on the face. We got the pro-hands people, we got the anti-hands people. It's like there's a battle going on. Okay, 1 or 2 pumps dispenses quite a nice amount here. And yes, I'm gonna give you my thoughts on how it relates to the Westman Atelier. Interesting. This one is a really cooling sensation upon application. So we'll just do one side of the face. You guys know me. My biggest problem with concealer, my biggest need for concealer is the fact that I have dark, deep circles. How attractive. Under my eye. I like to call them the dark pits of despair, and they have their own theme song. And to me, that's why I really need it. Today, I'm also a little bit blemishy, so that's kind of fortunate when I'm doing a concealer video. All right, I was letting it sit just for a moment there. We're only going to wear this. All right, so the spreadability, after letting it sit, the spreadability is very similar to the Westman Atelier. The Westman Atelier spreads a little bit easier. This one also is a good shade match for me, actually. I did pretty well on both the Westman Atelier and on this Victoria Beckham. The Victoria Beckham spreads beautifully. The Westman Atelier spreads a little bit more easily. So there is one side of the face done. Oh, nice. Very natural on this one. The end result looks like it's fairly similar to Westman Atelier, although this one dries a little bit. This one doesn't feel like it would need as much of a powder as the Westman Atelier does. Okay, here is the side with the new Victoria Beckham Beauty Concealer on the Dark Pits of Despair. And here is this eye, which is just roaming free across the earth and scaring the children. So what do you think? And we're just going to wear this. Now, when I just wore the Westman Atelier concealer, that's when I really learned that it doesn't really exist on its own. It needs powder. It needs foundation. It needs a full beat, so to speak, and then it's great. We'll see how this one does on its own. I just have some morning skincare sunken in under this one. I don't have anything else. This one only says to go 8 hours, so we'll be able to test it all 8 hours. And this one has a slightly more set feeling to it, so I'm wondering if it would be able to stand on its own. And a lot of you told me that's what you want, a concealer that you could just wear on its own as well. Okay, I am going to speed this up and getting my pen ready here, do the other side, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, that is the whole face done just in the Victoria Beckham Beauty concealer. What do you think? I'll tell you. They both spread. The Westman Atelier spreads applies a tad bit thinner and shears out or spreads onto the skin and blends a tad bit easier, splitting hairs here. The Victoria Beckham Beauty has more of a set finish to it. Like, I don't feel it needs powder. The Westman Atelier, it was pretty obvious right away that it was a beautiful concealer, but that it needed the other components, such as powder and foundation. This one I feel like you probably could wear on its own, but let's let the wear test continue. I'm going to just put on a little bit of other makeup, just a little bit, no foundation or anything. I just want to test this. I'm not going to powder it or anything like that, but I do want to come back and check our Givenchy Prisme Libre Loose Powder Highlighter, because it's a pretty little shade that's new. And I'll go a few hours first so it can serve also as a wear test check-in. You know the drill by now. Stay right there. We are 3 hours into this wear test. I am going to let it go 8. Because the Victoria Beckham Beauty says 8 hours, and that's so doable. So I am going to let it go 8, but let's just take a look 3 hours in. Here's what I did when I went off camera. I did my eyebrows, put on some mascara. It's not a makeup video, you know, a cosmetics video. Put a little bit of YSL, like a balm, on my lip. All of this stuff will be listed down below in the description bar. And I'll list what I can up here in YouTube shopping, just for you to look at. One thing is becoming abundantly clear. This new Victoria Beckham Beauty concealer will work on its own. I do not feel like I have to powder it. It feels really almost self-setting, like it's doing well underneath the eyes. It's going to last for that 8 hours. It's doing well under the eyes. It's not in crevices around my nose. I didn't powder it. It's not settling in. It's still covering everything here. And it is quite clear to me that the Westman Atelier, as I intimated earlier, is kind of for the full beat. This will also last you, but it needs the powder. It needs the foundation. It needs kind of the whole routine. But they're both excellent just for different purposes. That's my guess. But I mean, you know, I'll let you know for sure after 8 hours. Let's go ahead and play with the new Givenchy Prisme Libre Loose Powder Highlighter. This is shade number 14, as opposed to some of the pinker and such ones that we've seen before. I always love this, $47. I always love the fact that, especially when it's new and you put it on this pretty little powder puff, you can make a little Givenchy G's all over your face. I enjoy that. I am right now just kind of tapping out the product because when you first get it out, it kind of needs a little bit of help. I love their powder products. Love their powder blush. Look at that. Made the little G on my face. I love that. And on these, I actually do use the sponge. I like it. I like the Givenchy highlighter. For everything that other highlighters are lacking, I think this has. It's not too sparkly. It's not too thin. It's not too thick. It has a tad bit of a kind of perfumey smell, but I think that's very old Hollywood on a little puff like this, and it's not bad. I will actually show you the ingredients for these in the intro, so you will have already seen that. And it's just a little bit of highlighter. It looks kind of natural, looks kind of pretty. Feels, like I said, very old Hollywood with that little bit of scent and the powder puff, which I just like to wash. I love the little, how the puff has the little thing for the finger. To me, it's just really pretty and cute and very subtle. Can you guys see that? It's just very subtle. I love their powder blushes, and I have a loose powder thing. You know, I do. I admit it. Okay, well, I'm just going to get on with my day. I've got lots to do and lots happening. And then I'll come back at the end of the day. Let's check this at 8 hours. I'll be able to hit it at 8 hours pretty easily. So we'll check that then. And I'll, for me, that's going to be 5 hours. For you, though, it's going to be lickety-split. Okay, 8 hours in. I've actually changed back into the t-shirt I filmed in earlier. Helps me with continuity when I edit. And I have put on, I think, a different shade. I forgot which shade of the YSL balm I used. They're all the same, kind of. So I picked another pink one. Other than that, I haven't done anything. You guys, I really haven't done anything. The curls are out of my hair a little more, but that's about it. So let's take a look. We got some blemishes on my chin that are still covered. Let's take a look at the dark pits of despair, because I didn't powder. I think that's looking pretty good. What do you think? Okay, maybe a little less coverage than before. Here's the thing. The Westman Atelier, I wore alone to test it, and it didn't last. It needed powder. It needed foundation. Don't worry, I have tested it with powder and foundation. And actually, I might have mentioned this in the intro, I hope. But tomorrow, I am doing the Mario new powder. And I'll try the Mario powder over this. Probably over the Patro Ta, because it kind of needs it. This little guy from Victoria Beckham Beauty looks like it's going to do really well if you want to do the whole shebang with it, powder and foundation and all this, but also I think it looks great just as kind of no makeup. Where the Westman Atelier is a beautiful product, but don't count on it for that. This one's just a little bit like almost oilier, and this one has a little bit more oomph to it and feels almost self-setting, though it doesn't claim to be online. Okay, I don't know if any of our highlight is left. Yeah, a little bit of it, actually, right here. Not a ton. No, it's left. It's there. I see it up by the eyes, especially. So that made it. That only had to go 5 hours, though. If it hadn't made it 5 hours, I'd be wondering about it for sure. These are both very pretty products. You guys know the Givenchy powder products, loose powder products, if you've tried them before. And that's certainly a pretty shade addition. And it's just a very grown-up highlighter in the best way, not in a negative way. And it's beautiful. And the Victoria Beckham Beauty, which do I suggest, this or Westman Atelier? I suggest them both. The Westman Atelier when you are, as I said, doing a full bead of makeup. And well, I will say the Victoria Beckham Beauty would work for either. So maybe I'm giving Victoria Beckham Beauty the edge on this, guys. I think I might be. But this is 8 hours. I think if everything is set and done with the Westman Atelier, it might go longer than 8. Oh, this isn't budging at 8. It's not as fresh as it was when I first put it on. I think it did pretty well. I actually don't mind that it says 8 hours. You know, sometimes when they're like, will last 72 hours. I'm like, okay. Slow down there, cowboy. You know what I mean? It's like a little too aggressive, you know? I don't know. All right. We are a community, though. It's not just about me. So let me know what you guys think. I'm really curious. We're a community here. Tell me if you're getting it. Tell me what your thoughts are on the Westman. And if you've gotten the Victoria Beckham Beauty and tried it, I'd sure love to know what you think, all right? So go ahead and tell me that and share this video and like it. And don't forget that the greatest compliment that you could ever give to me is to subscribe to this channel. I would love to have you along for the journey. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye.